May 15, 2005. Alone, the child entered the immense, impenetrable, and terrifying wild subtropical jungle, which was perfect for his purposes. It was a pristine, pure, and primordial place. He was set to recover for humanity the vital truth long lost in human prehistory. Dharma had been lost and was now to be regained. The radiant child, fortified with many lifetimes in truth, knew that the time had come for this epic endeavor. Celestial gurus led him through the jungle in the dark night under beautiful moonlight, with only the sound of twigs breaking underfoot and the increasingly audible sounds of nighttime insects, frogs, and birds. The child found himself released into the world of jungle nature, close to the pristine state of creation. This was home. Walking barefoot over sand, twigs, and pebbles, slowly at first, he was draped only in a thin grayish-white sheet. Trees were breathing deeply, undisturbed, serene all around. They stood there peacefully, watching intently as the radiant child walked among them in the night. They were extending themselves outwards, increasingly harmonized and integrated, just as they had been during the blissful primordial days of creation. Finally, guided by his celestial gurus, he found a peepal tree in which to settle into solitary, deep silence. In overflowing peace, confidence, and determination, he began his legendary 6-year austere meditation. He was just 15 years old. April 10, 1990. Just like the morning sun rising over Earth in shafts of golden light, the dawning of our bright future took place in a lovely little hamlet in southern Nepal. A little boy was born behind the home of a poor farming family in a tiny village, Ratanpur. Few outside the family were aware of this event, and no one at that time could imagine what role this infinitely pure soul was destined to play in the fate of the entire world. The boy was named Ram Bahadur Bomjan. During pregnancy, his mother discovered she couldn't eat meat. As a child, he displayed a notably serene and peaceful nature and a peculiar adult habit of preferring solitude, enjoying contemplation of the highest, most rarefied kind. He felt close to everyone around him. The boy skillfully distinguished right from wrong, good from evil, and was always on the side of truth. He avoided unfriendly company, unkind and unworthy activities, and silently ran away at the sight of non-vegetarian meals. Tell us about him. What was he like? He had a very peaceful nature. He never got into fights. Everybody liked him a lot. He was always smiling. He was a very diligent student at school. He always obeyed his teachers. As a child, he enjoyed spending time with monks. He loved spiritual places and temples. He didn't like large, noisy gatherings of people, celebrations, etc. One day, when the boy was 8 to 9 years old, an amazing event happened. When he was playing with his friends on the riverbank, The dead body of one of the villagers was brought to be cremated on a pyre. Suddenly, the child's eyes were drawn to a brilliant shaft of green and yellow light, shooting upwards from the burning corpse and piercing the sky. The startling vision was unforgettable and remained with the boy. He began to reflect on how the soul achieves mukti liberation and moksha salvation after death. From that moment on, day after day, the wisdom of the meditations of the past began to be restored in his memory. At the age of 12, the boy became a monk and received the spiritual name Palden Dorje. He devoted more time to meditation rather than reading books. He studied with spiritual masters in his village, and then at Dehradun Monastery in India. Eventually, he returned to Nepal. He traveled to become acquainted with the realities of the modern world and visited sacred places. The young truth seeker saw with his own eyes and realized how deeply people in this world were trapped in the great and impenetrable darkness of ignorance, alienated from true spiritual wisdom and practice. He saw that this exhausted world was rushing in huge strides towards self-annihilation. The boy realized that the only thing that could rectify the situation and save this world was the restoration of Dharma on earth. To begin his mission, he returned to his birthplace, Ratanpur. On May 15, 2005, the boy left home in the middle of the night. When his family found him meditating under a tree in the jungle, they tried to bring him home, but he remained adamant. He explained that he had to start meditation at all costs, and that it would take him 6 years. Thus began the great 6-year austere meditation. Later, the meditator himself recounted, "The basic elements of creation, earth, water, air, fire, and ether, became one with my physical existence, and I, being in the deep state of samadhi, was able to obtain all sustenance through meditation. All functions and processes of the body and mind gradually slowed down. Unwavering day and night, unafraid of suffering and obstacles, he focused solely on the well-being and happiness of all living beings in the world. In extreme conditions, night and day, drenched by the incessant cold rains of the rainy season, he resolved to overcome the insurmountable. Furthermore, while he remained frozen in the hollow of the tree, thousands of termites built a termite mound behind him, eating his clothes, tearing at his lower back, and feeding on his blood. Every day, the ascetic endured the bites of hundreds of mosquitoes, enduring unbearable pain, steadfastly adhering to the strictest practice. His emaciated, frail body, worn out by extreme austerities, was bitten day and night by ants, insects, and other creatures, feeding on his flesh and blood, inflicting countless wounds. But he continued, selflessly accepting endless torment in his centuries-old resolve to find salvation for the world at any cost and bring benefit to all living beings. When the media spread word of the meditator, busloads of people began arriving from all over Nepal and India. Then tourists from all over the world began arriving, and the pristine jungle became a site of daily pilgrimage for thousands. Many believed the boy was the reincarnation of one or another respected master. But no one knew the truth. People were fascinated only by his ability to live without food or drink. 2.5 months after beginning his meditation, the boy opened his eyes and quietly asked his brother Ganga Jeet to address him with the words, Om Namo Guru Buddha Gyani, which translates as, Hail to the Guru endowed with the wisdom of Buddha. The boy's sensation attracted more and more people. Roadside vendors appeared, and gradually the sacred place of meditation turned into a lively, noisy area filled with idle chatter, gossip, and commerce. News from Nepal. For 6 months now, locals and pilgrims in the Baro region have been worshipping a living god, an incarnation of Buddha. At least the citizens of the Himalayan kingdom are absolutely certain of this. Every day they come to see a 15-year-old boy sitting motionless in the lotus position under a tree. People from the local village are saying that Rambadur Bomjan hasn't eaten or drunk anything in the past 6 months. Market stalls in a parking lot have already sprung up at the pilgrimage site. Police officers tried to ask the young man a few questions, but all they heard was silence. It all sounds like the Buddhist legend. 2,500 years ago, the hermit prince Gautama Shakyamuni, sitting under a tree, became Buddha. Experts claim the young man entered a state of samadhi, a kind of hibernation state. In November 2005, the meditator addressed people and asked them not to call him the reincarnation of Buddha. He also said that if he were allowed to meditate in peace, peace would soon come to the country. And peace did come. The following year, Nepal, torn apart by civil war, finally obtained long-awaited peace. One day at sunset, in deep meditation, the young ascetic suddenly heard a voice from above. "Hey, meditating sage, stand up, your death is approaching." At that very moment, the boy in his meditation found himself face to face with the celestial Paramatma Guru. At that very moment, 2 luminous rays of yellow and green light emerged from the divine gaze of the Paramatma Guru. This divine light entered his body, miraculously manifesting as fire. Thus, the physical strength of his exhausted body was restored, and the ability to move was reobtained. Some unsatisfied hostile people were preparing to attack the young meditator, taking advantage of his weakened physical condition. At some point, the meditator asked for new robes and continued his meditation. For a time, a bird was even seen visiting the meditator and nesting on his head. On March 11, 2006, the boy disappeared. Moving south from his first meditation site in search of a quiet, secluded place, the meditator remembered his devoted helpers. To ensure they wouldn't worry about his disappearance, he waited for them in the forest. Around 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning, the sound of footsteps over grass and leaves announced the arrival of a group of 7 people, their hearts full of faith and devotion, and eyes filled with tears. He told them that at the previous place there was no peace and that he had to find a new place to meditate. He explained that people making obstacles for his meditation were accumulating heavy negative karma. He said he would continue for 6 years and that there was no need to worry about him or shed tears. He would be fine.
किन रोइरहनु बेकारमा बुवा आमा भनेको जन्म दिनु मात्रै हो तर जे गर्ने छ भगवानले गरिरहेछ सेवा गर्ने छ पुजारी छ छोड्दैन
आजले पनि हामीले अब शक्ति दिन्छ हामी चाहिँ
काम गर्ने सवालमा अशान्ति चाहनेहरूले हामीलाई यो शान्तिको पक्षमा लाग्नलाई धेरै दुःख दिइरहेछ प्रभु त्यसै कारणले पनि शान्तिको लागि हजुरले हामीले कसो गर्नुपर्ने हो
तपाईहरु धर्म गर्दै गर्ने छ ठाउँ थुप्रै डिस्ट्रिक्ट
Thus, having given his message, he continued his spiritual journey. Over the course of months, the meditator was forced to move from place to place to continue his ascetic practices, prayers, meditation, and mantra recitations. Again and again, he was discovered by people and forced to leave. Deep in the forest, a group of hunters discovered a young meditator and alerted locals. The ascetic is asked questions, and for the first time we have the opportunity to hear his answers. After you disappeared, people started asking questions and some started doubting. Thousands of people, thousands of opinions. Everyone has their own thoughts and their own mind. Let people speak, and one day they will know the truth. We want to protect you, but we are only humans. What can we do? You need to find a solution yourself. I can't say. Everything is in the hands of the Bhagawan Creator. Finally, the meditator came to the jungle of Halkoria. Once there, in the midst of the vast jungle, he found an oasis-like place. With towering trees and natural water reservoirs, and wonder of wonders, an ancient giant banyan tree stood there. With widespread branches and long drooping prop roots. There was no other banyan like it for miles. Here, the young meditator continued his practice for the remaining 4 years of his historic meditation. From then on, the Halkoria jungle transformed itself into a sphere of tremendous spiritual energy, with palpable manifestations of the Paramatma's supra-reality and vibrant life that now lit up the entire space. This was eternal Dharma that finally descended on the earth among pristine nature, there in Halkoria. In 2007, the meditator addressed people. A message of peace to our world today. Murder, violence, oppression, anger, and delusion have made the human world a desperate place. A terrible storm has descended upon the human world. And this is carrying the world towards destruction. There's only one way to save the world, and that is through Dharma, spiritual practice. If one doesn't walk the righteous path of spiritual practice, this confused world will surely be destroyed. Therefore, follow the path of spirituality and spread this message to your fellows. Human salvation, the salvation of all living beings, and the peace in the world are my goal and my path.
शान्ति अगाडि बढाउने मेरो लक्ष्य र मार्ग हुँ तर अनित्य
But for the impermanent world, this, my daily practice, is reduced to mere entertainment.
खेलाउन जस्तो लागिरहेको छ त्यस सात धर्म
It is essential but very difficult to understand true Dharma wisdom.
आवश्यक छ
On October 30, 2009, the meditator called for an interfaith conference right at his meditation site in the Halkoria jungle and made a heartfelt appeal to stop the killing of innocent animals at the Gadimai sacrificial festival, where hundreds of thousands of animals were slaughtered regularly.
यस ब्रह्माण्डमा
In this world, to protect one's own selfish interests, fear, threats, terrorism, violence, and the demonstration of miracles are used to keep the world under one's own rule. This is the wrong order of things. Pure egoism is the cause, and this is the wrong way. An innocent being should not be deprived of its happy life and be surrendered by sacrifice, so that by its death, conscious human beings can acquire wealth. How selfish can people be? Human beings, in order to satisfy their own selfishness and fulfill personal wishes, harm sentient beings. With this message, I would like to appeal to all religions to let innocent beings at the Gadimai temple be free from harm. Animals at the Gadimai temple, innocent animals, innocent beings. Innocent animals in our homes and villages. May this not happen. May evil not be committed. May all beings be happy. After a few years, sacrifices at the Gadimai festival were banned. In September 2010, the meditator received a new name from his celestial gurus, Mahasambodhi Dharma Sangha. The title Mahasambodhi signifies his highest spiritual level and his position in the Dharma. The name Dharma Sangha refers to Dharma and the all-divine transcendent Paramatma gurus embodied in him. Over the years of his ascetic trials, Mahasambodhi Dharma Sangha Guru performed a wide variety of meditation practices. There was a meditation underground in a concrete chamber, at the bottom of a lake in freezing cold water, at the top of trees, on the top of hills, in rivers and streams, and in an animal burrow. The exact meditative practices and techniques used over these 6 years are known only to Guru. In rain, heat, and cold, with only one sheet wrapped around his body, he continued the ascetic practice in total renunciation without food or water for 6 years. No day, no night, no thirst, no hunger. No cold, no hot, no sleep, no fear or terror. Without uttering a word in the midst of a dense, fearsome jungle among poisonous snakes and wild jungle animals, his great soul, being fearless, determined, self-confident and courageous, overcoming increasingly difficult challenges, finally won the great spiritual victory. Guru's ascetic meditation continued for 6 years. From May 15, 2005 to May 16, 2011. Great gurus come to the earth at intervals of thousands of years, in order to attain through severe practice the level of Paramatma gurus and restore truth in the world. Similar today, by the will of the Bhagawan creators, a pure soul was sent to the earth and placed into a human womb to usher in the golden age of Dharma. Thus, the great avatar was born on earth. A truly outstanding individual, tremendously wise and amazingly kind. Guru devoted his entire childhood to immensely arduous inner search, renunciation and asceticism. He has obtained the most rare knowledge and joyous wisdom of Maitri Dharma and brought back to the present world spiritual wisdom and practice long forgotten by humans. Guru does not belong to any country or nation. He is the Guru of the world. He did not come for any particular race, nationality, or religion. He came for all humanity, for people of all faiths, to transform the entire earth into a realm of Dharma. The great austere meditation was performed in order to save this confused world from inevitable destruction, to return the earth to its original integrity and vitality, to uplift all living beings and to bring humanity the path to salvation, the path to the heavenly Svarga. Once in thousands of years, a soul of such immeasurable purity and benevolence descends upon the perplexed human world to guide people back to the true path. His kind, loving, and patient guidance elevates the consciousness of this world to an unprecedented new level and guides humanity onto the path of light. The teachings that Guru brings to the world are called the Maitri Dharma. His teachings lead humanity away from views full of confusion and deception. They reveal the true essence of our flawed and hollow, yet generally accepted traditions, created over millennia. The Guru reveals to people the true purpose of human life. He finally explains what liberation and salvation are, and what the difference between them is. The 6-year meditation has been accomplished in search of the purest way to world peace and the salvation of all living beings. This is the most auspicious and blessed day. During the age of darkness, the world changed, degraded, and today humans wander aimlessly. I am awakening the world affected by the ages with the compassion and Maitri feeling of loving friendliness of the Maitri Nath. The world cannot fathom the full depth of this process. My austere practice was surrounded by disbelief of the whole world. The world found it difficult to accept my continuous severe practice. Even today, I see many skeptics. In human life, Liberation and salvation cannot be achieved through materialistic pleasures and comforts alone. By following the Dharmic principles and rules, one can attain liberation from materialistic bondage and achieve salvation from the cycle of rebirths. Firmly abiding in the guidelines, meditation, and wisdom of the eternal Maitri Nath and Noble Tara, having acquired the purest spiritual wisdom, today I give to the world the path that leads all souls to liberation and salvation. Dharma is not an idea or concept to be understood, but the truth to be realized. Killing living beings, displaying miracles, or doing occult magic in the name of Dharma, these are merely short-lived means of self-gratification. This is not Dharma. Since ages past, people have been wandering in the ocean of feelings and emotions, lost in meaningless paths and concepts. Having obtained a human life full of great meaning, for ages they have led meaningless existences, not even trying to ponder on what is truly important. People should devote their entire lives to the boundless, joyful inner search, and not to the search for fleeting pleasures, luxury, comfort, in a word, materialistic bondages. A flower lives solely to dedicate all of its own beauty and fragrance to the whole of creation without holding back. Like the fragrant flower, Dharma cannot blossom until humanity has freed their lives of lust, rage, greed, desires and attachments, conceit, violence, murder, and other impurities, and abide in the rules and regulations of true Dharma. Aware of those who for ages have been spreading delusion, confusion, and bewilderment in the world, I hereby encourage all the Sanghas, Dharma lovers and followers, all truth seekers who've been confused in the past, to follow, embrace, and spread the Guru Marga path, the true path of Dharma. It is natural that many obstacles and hindrances arise in the process of spreading the laws of Dharma in the world. Stars look infinite, but the sky is one. Similarly, the root source of all religions, paths, or practices existing in the world is ultimately one. It is the highest wisdom acquired at various times by great gurus, who attained the highest realization and at the right time for the benefit of the world, bestowed it in the form of spiritual paths. By now, these paths have been colored with the colors of various religions, cultures, and beliefs. With our soul as witness, let us humans contemplate the reason for Guru's extreme austerity and hardships in meditation. In fact, it was done only for the sake of bringing liberation and salvation to the world's living beings and plant life. Some may hope to acquire worldly boons and benefits from Guru. But what Guru can give are only the path of Dharma, liberation and salvation. But ironically, since times past, the polluted state of the human mind has instead been giving Guru accusations, disbelief, violence, and obstructive behavior. The main purpose of human life is to follow the path of Dharma and to realize the living Dharmic truths, to strive for the liberation and salvation of all living beings, including oneself. a path and practice that does not lead to liberation and salvation cannot be considered a spiritual path and practice of Dharma. People do not want to follow a path that does not indulge selfishness and desires. The main mission of the true Guru is for all living creatures to have all Dharma in one integrated Maitri Bhav feeling without split or separation, and to remove from humans the corruptions remaining in the depths of the soul, to bring out and unveil the true Dharma path. Dharma is the invisible living truth reality that imparts the path of liberation and salvation. After an interval of ages and time, all beings of the world amidst the true Dharma and true path guidance created artificial man-made traditions and rituals, and came to blindly follow them as if following true spiritual wisdom. Now at last, the auspicious time for the world's Dharma transformation is here. Not forsaking conceit, anger, greed, lust, envy, violence, greed-driven commerce and exploitation is making world annihilation inevitable. Now in this time, humanity must wake up to this challenge. During the archaic age after the age of truth, when the entire human race rendered helpless by illness during the great plagues, hungered in agony for remedies, the entirety of living healing herbs were bestowed onto the world by the Paramatma Gurus in the form of nectar to redeem the toxin-filled world and all its beings. The Guru also gave 11 precepts for all humanity. Here are some of them. Never break oneness and equality on account of name, appearance, ethnicity, tribe, religion, color, class, gender, belief, community, nation, power, position, ability, and so forth. This means give up all discord, be it worldly or spiritual. Having found the eternal Dharma, path and the Guru, remain respectful to all religions and beliefs. Avoid any and all demonic behavior, violence, killing, harming or hurting living beings. Choose only pure wholesome nourishment. Do not think less of people or countries on account of national identity. In April 2012, following the instructions of the Paramatma Gurus, the Guru accepted the first taste of food and the first drop of water since beginning his ascetic meditation, thus ending his 7-year period of living and practicing without food or water. In 2014, Guru met with the Prime Minister of Nepal, Sushil Koirala. During this meeting, Guru humbly requested that the Halkoria jungle be designated a sacred meditation forest. The world must preserve and protect these sacred lands of meditation. The Halkoria jungle is a sacred place of global significance. To reunite humanity into one single family, Guru today gives people a new language, received from the Paramatma Gurus themselves in the highest heavenly realms. This is the Maitri language. Here is the text written by Guru in Maitrian language. Today all prayers and mantras are recited in Maitrian. Guru also trains students who in turn become teachers or gurus of humanity. Currently, approximately 200 gurus have been trained in Nepal. Under Guru's guidance, pujas or ceremonies of respect and worship to the celestial Paramatma Gurus are regularly held. In 2017, a large puja was held near Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal. Guru had been giving blessings from morning till the evening for 2 weeks. On some days, so many people were coming that the event was ending after midnight. During Maitri Pujas, it usually rains or even a real storm occurs. This puja was no exception. In March 2025, during one of the pujas at Guru's direction, it was announced that the world had entered a new time or era, and that from then on, Guru should be called Mahasambodhi Maitri Nath. Maitri Nath translates as Lord Maitri. In one of his speeches, Guru said that sooner or later he would travel around the world to give his blessings and guidance of the true path to the whole world. Devotees around the world are eagerly awaiting Guru's world tour. Maitri communities and Maitri centers are being created and established in various countries around the world. In the world as we know, there's good and evil, light and darkness. And darkness naturally opposes light. From the first days of his great meditation, Guru has been encountering all sorts of obstacles, attacks, and resistance. During Guru's 6-year meditation, people would come at night to taunt, mock, and otherwise challenge the motionless meditator, wishing to make him move or otherwise lose concentration. They would fire rifles, whistle loudly, throw stones, laugh and shout obscenities till early dawn. The boy, however, remained motionless, steadfastly enduring the malicious behavior of the ignorant people. Against Guru's beautiful intention to make truth equally accessible to all humanity, to people of all races, nationalities, and faiths, there arose a network of fearful, jealous, antagonistic, delusional, and hostile factions, intent on destroying the new teachings. Again and again, all kinds of obstacles were created through a variety of cunning means. Guru's fame rose by the day, and the dark clouds of jealousy, ill will, and hatred began to gather around. Antagonistic, malevolent people were hoping to eliminate the too famous meditator. In 2009, one night, armed men arrived secretly at the Halkoria meditation site and fired rounds of bullets at the meditator, causing him to topple over. The next day, police officials brought groups of journalists and followers into the jungle to retrieve the body. However, they were shocked to see Guru continuing to meditate on his round dais. On June 2, 2009, Nepali media had to retract their pre-composed and widely publicized headline stories describing Guru's death the day before. Rumors about the death of the ascetic turned out to be groundless. On June 19, 2012, the Department of Forestry Office of Nepal sent officers into the sacred woods of Halkoria to remove visible memories of the miracle that had just been flowering there. With bulldozers, they removed the by then world-famous meditation dais, on which Guru had been fixed without moving for the last 4 years of meditation. They seriously damaged the monument containing the historic underground chamber, in which he had sat in dark stagnant air for 4 months. These hugely important historical testimonials of the trials and triumphs of Guru's unsurpassed 6-year meditation were now smashed, hacked to pieces, and bulldozed. It did not occur to people that this sacred place had to be preserved and protected as a World Heritage Site and as the spiritual center of the world. Nepal still has a caste system, and the caste and ethnic systems are closely intertwined there, while discrimination between castes is prohibited by law. It continues to exist in reality. Guru belongs to the Tamang caste, as indicated by his surname Bomjan. Tamangs are indigenous people of Nepal. They occupy a relatively low position of the Nepalese social ladder. For some of those who belong to higher-ranking castes, it is simply unthinkable for a Tamang to act as a spiritual master, much less call for universal equality. Because of this, the Nepali media continue to refer to Guru as Ram Bomjan, instead of using his spiritual name. The oppression of Tamang people in Nepal has been going on for hundreds of years, and perhaps the current persecution is a continuation of this tradition. If Guru had belonged to a higher caste, perhaps things would have been completely different. After it became clear that eliminating the new Guru is physically impossible, a huge campaign was launched to discredit and denigrate him through provocations, fabrications, and so on. Cunning lies poured out through the media, including central media of Nepal, with the aim of inciting public hatred towards Guru. Real information cleverly mixed with lies was and is still being presented to the public, so it is extremely difficult for the average person to discern the truth. Various groups and individuals are working to denigrate Guru and the new teachings. A stream of negativity is being generated, continually filling the information space in various forms. For example, in 2015 in Nepal, a follower left Guru Center and called his son on his mobile phone saying he was going home. But that same day, a major earthquake struck Nepal and the man hasn't been seen since. And for some reason, Guru was blamed for his disappearance. Then the story of the disappearance of the nuns from Guru Center was widely circulated, and sometime later they were seen alive and well. I was going from Kathmandu a few years ago, and I met one of them. When she was getting off the bus, she looked at me and I realized she's one of the lost nuns. She was wearing a red dress. Also, my friend once called me and said that she saw them coming from Manangumba. These two allegedly missing nuns. I immediately called the police and informed them, but they didn't bother to check. This is a big game being played before our eyes. This is not something small. Conspirators can be seen in the media. It's a big conspiracy. Thus, Guru was accused of the disappearance of 4 people in total. Investigations and trials followed, but all cases were closed due to the absence of evidence. Another story involved a nun who stole some money whilst in Guru Center, but was caught by her father and then left. A few months later, she gave a press conference to the media, accusing Guru of sexual harassment. On June 9, 2024, Guru was arrested on this charge and sent to a general security prison, where he was held in inhumane conditions in an overcrowded cell. A court later acquitted Guru of all charges. Guru was subsequently released from prison, where he had been held for over a year while the trial was pending. The father, who had been prevented from seeing his daughter by police for several years, died under strange circumstances in 2024. While riding his motorcycle at night, he was struck by a car driving in the wrong lane with its headlights off. The violator received only a fine. Someone has taught her to say all this and accuse Guru. I'm sure someone definitely taught her. So you don't know where she is? How long is it since you have seen her? It's been 5 to 6 years. I'm not able to sleep at night. I've lost my appetite. Find out the truth and give my daughter back to me. I feel there is a conspiracy here. On June 18, 2020, police arrived at one of Guru Maitri's centers. They came to the place by the riverbed where 5 monks lived and prayed. With crude profanities and harsh blows from rifle butts, they beat the monks without explanation, kicking them with boots, inflicting serious wounds to the head, back, and different parts of the body. They forced the monks towards the trail leading to the higher level with hands joined behind their backs. Crisscrossing the river swollen by the monsoon, they shoved the monks, dunking their heads into the water for long minutes, inflicting terror. The officers forced them to grovel on hands and knees in the muddy swamps, humiliating their captives who now realized that they had been stripped of all human rights. No reason was given for these actions. In addition, followers are periodically being forced to testify against Guru. One day, a follower named Rajendra was stopped on his way home from school by 4 plainclothes police officers without insignia or warrant, seized and forced into a car. He was taken to their headquarters and ordered to fingerprint a prepared witness statement, claiming to have witnessed Guru murder followers in the Sindhupal Chowk area. The student was shocked by this outrageous falsification and refused to sign the document. But they began to threaten him, and fearing for his life, he signed the witness statement. I said, "The thing you are talking about had never happened. How can I say it happened?" "Be careful with what you are saying, otherwise we'll throw you out the window," they said. Even though I was under intense pressure, I told them that if they want to kill me, they can do it. But the incident they wanted me to confirm never happened, and I won't say that it happened. They asked me again, and I said no. They slapped me again. They were continuously putting pressure on me. I've never been in such a terrible situation before, and I was alone. "You will be skinned alive and tortured to death," they threatened. And then, by this stage, I was truly scared. In that moment, I thought I wouldn't live any longer. At that time, being under extreme pressure, I signed those papers, but only to save my life. But the events described in those papers never actually happened. Or here's another case. One day I was playing with my friends outside. Suddenly, police appeared wearing civilian clothes. I was quite young at that time and I got a little scared. I was confused. I was a child then, and they were threatening me, saying they would beat me up. They would scold me and at times try to hit me. They were threatening to kill me, and I was forced to do what they demanded. Thus, the police forced the boy to perjure himself and claimed that he knew the place where the followers in Sindhupal Chowk had allegedly been murdered. Here's another example. A follower wholeheartedly offered his house to Guru for living, but the police forced him to sign a statement declaring the house belonged not to him but to Guru, with the aim of fabricating further charges against Guru. I was invited 2 or 3 times for questioning. They were exerting a lot of pressure. They intimidated me. They threatened me in various ways. They said that if I didn't sign what they wanted, I would be punished and jailed. They said that I could be imprisoned long term if I didn't comply. They threatened to accuse me of various crimes and create lawsuits against me. Thus, the persecution of Guru revolves around a continuous cycle. An accusation is created, then the court acquits Guru. And while the case is being closed, another accusation is produced, and so on. In the year 2025, yet another accusation was created. And this time, without any court decision, Guru was sent straight to General Security Prison. This information is presented here not to accuse anyone. It is provided to demonstrate the colossal resistance to truth and Dharma in the world at the dawn of its revival. Nevertheless, no difficulties or obstacles can stop the spreading of the light of Dharma in the world. After all, truth always prevails in the end. As you have rightly said, I am the chief of a medical college. I have produced thousands of doctors. After the news of the meditator came out, I went there to Ratanpur jungle in Bara district. We took turns watching him continuously for 24 hours without taking our eyes off him. During the 24 hours, that man didn't move. Did he sit there motionless? Motionless in meditation. Dr. Sir, were you not surprised? Yes, I had to be. Secondly, there were basically no clothes on him. Just a thin cloth wrapped around him and hanging from one shoulder. And he kept sitting like a rock, absorbed in unbreakable meditation. Without a break. Yes, without a break in meditation. Without moving. When I asked another group, they said 2 months. For 2 months, he had not moved. After this, my medical science failed me. And he proved impossible and kept going. If there was a Paramatma Guru after Gautama Buddha, it was him who took birth in Nepal. It was a moment of great pride for Nepal. But instead, people are talking about this and that, rapist, this and that, blah blah. Give me at least one piece of evidence. There's no proof, only empty accusations. How it usually works. In order to destroy someone, fake accusations are fabricated from 5 to 7 different angles. Do you see it as a ploy to trap him? It is nothing but a ploy, a game, a conspiracy only. It is a dirty game of others to destroy Dharma. Until the court declares someone to be a culprit in a case, no one has the authority to conduct a press conference and present him to the public as a criminal. This is an open act of defamation. There is clear malicious intent in the ongoing investigation. There is a clear involvement of foreign elements. There are people in Nepal functioning under external orders. And from the very beginning of this investigation, there has been ample evidence of bias and ill will. The government wants to suppress any positive information about him. Any mention of his incredible spiritual power, any positive news or opinions of a positive nature. All such things have been banned in Nepali media. A major campaign against him was launched, and this widespread attack continues to this day. Because of him, so many people are following the way of non-violence. They have stopped eating meat and fish. They have given up alcohol, which has had a positive impact on society. In different Maitri centers, he provided education to many students and brought a good change in people's lives. That aspect is not being considered by the Nepal government. The government and the media have only been concentrating on things, like what bed, for example, has been found in his house, and other similar nonsense. I believe he is part of Nepal's spiritual heritage. He is the great treasure of this country, treasure that unfortunately is not being properly preserved and protected.
but it's painful. It's difficult to see this, the way that he's being treated in Nepal, the way that his disciples are being treated, the way the Sangha is being treated. And actually all of this is very clearly detailed in the text of this petition, okay, that's online. So when you look at all of this, what's happened, and the way that the Sangha has been treated, like, I feel that there's a very clear pattern of persecution, right? And what I was going to say is that every single great religious sort of paradigm shifting guru or like master, prophet, these great beings, right, who have appeared in this world, every single one, without one exception, I really cannot think of one exception, has faced very severe persecution, right? Isn't it? Everybody, okay? And, okay, why? Why has this always happened? My feeling is that because they are bringing such a deep change to the foundation of like our understanding and an energetic shift also. Like, there's a story in Buddha Shakyamuni's life story where there were some sort of wealthy, powerful and rich people that had negative views towards Buddha, okay? And they found there was this young girl, maybe 18 or 20 or something like that, right? They found this girl and they paid her a bunch of money and maybe threatened her also, I don't really know exactly all the details, to go around and publicly say to everybody that the Buddha, and she was pregnant, right? To say that Buddha Shakyamuni had sort of raped her and had attacked her and, you know, this kind of horrible accusations, to falsely go around saying these things, okay? And, you know, so that's Buddha Shakyamuni, some examples, okay? Look what happened with Jesus, right? Everybody knows the story of Jesus, right? How did Jesus' life end? He was arrested and then actually killed finally, right? Like Jesus. They did this to Jesus. This happened with Buddha, this happened with Jesus, okay? You name it, right? Muhammad, the Muslim prophet, Muhammad, how much persecution did he face in his lifetime, right? It's almost like a rite of passage for any great spiritual figure, master, game changer, who's like a paradigm shift, that these beings who come, they face this kind of persecution. It's happened every single time. It's to be expected. It's normal that this is happening, and it's not surprising. There's been this tradition of persecution of great religious beings and spiritual dharma leaders, right? They have always faced persecution from the society that doesn't understand them yet. And slowly, as time goes on, more understanding develops, right? I did not believe that this could be real. And I have to say that because in the beginning, I was very skeptical, okay? This is what I thought. It's physically impossible, and I just forgot about it. And actually many years then went by like this way. And I think everybody in Nepal saw this, really. I think everybody knows that this is true. I think it's very clear. Okay, I saw in the 2017 Mahadarshan Maitri Puja, okay, Guru would come to and from the time that he sat down until oftentimes very late at night, after midnight, some of the nights, right? 12, 1 in the morning, right? Guru is sitting there on his Dharma throne, and one by one, he's just giving darshan blessings to every single person. There was lines, thousands of people that time, thousands of people. Like, and I had never seen that before with my own two eyes, you know. I had never seen anybody who could sit like that and just keep going. And the incredible energy that was coming, like I had never seen that, you know. There's like a term for this feeling, right? It's called Maitri Bhav, like this feeling of loving kindness. And I think that anybody that you really meet from the Sangha of Mahasambodhi Dharma Sangha Guru, like his disciples, everybody really radiates this feeling very strongly, actually. Now I've been many years connected, and I've met them in Nepal. I've met them, some of them here in America and in various different places. And like, I'm really so amazed by these people. I'm so impressed by the Sangha. I directly was present in the Maitri Dharma precincts. I was around the community. I lived there in like a tent. I stayed with the people. I was deeply immersed in the community, right? And so I observed. I'm like a pretty observant, and I have to say, like, this community, it's so pure. It's really pure. Everything that they do is so pure. And this is, I'm telling the truth, okay? I don't see anybody else in such a pure way living, eating, speaking, practicing, right? Things that I've seen in this community, I've never seen anywhere else, like the purity. I went to this place in the jungle that was the Maitri community's like space, okay? I lived there. I had a place that was given to me to sleep, very comfortable. I mean, in a tent, but like outside, but very comfortable, you know, like I had somewhere to sleep. I had 3 meals a day provided, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like what they call samyak ahar, what was called, I don't know the Maitri term for it, but pure nourishment, right? Very pure, beautiful food, hand cooked by these incredible, like, devoted volunteers. Every potato, right? They cut by hand. This was so much love in this whole process. Okay, I lived there. I ate the food that was provided in the center. Okay, I attended the Dharma programs. I received teachings. I received darshan blessings. We recited the Maitri prayers. All of these activities, okay? And there was transport even from Kathmandu to Sindhupalchok to Patarkot, and cars and different things, so many things, right? This entire Sangha, okay, not one time, never, I was never asked for $1 ever for anything, okay, you know? And I said to somebody, this is very strange, and they said to me like, oh, you know, Guru said this, like this was directly from Guru, that we should not charge money for anything, that the Dharma is free. The Dharma is like an offering that comes directly from the, like, we have this huge problem, and then globally, right? Wars are increasing. There's just so much pain and deep suffering all over the place, right? We need a change, right? A shift, a very, very deep, fundamental shift, like inside of our heart, has to shift. I truly feel that this Guru and this Sangha is really going to change this entire world in ways that right now we really can't fathom.
My girlfriend, I had a new girlfriend at this time, and her name was Millie, so the 6 years was coming to a close. So I told my girlfriend, do you want to come to Nepal to see somebody I'm very interested in? And she agreed. We got to Nepal. I didn't know who to contact, so I looked online and I found a man who was connected to him. So we went to his house. He said, we're going to go to the jungle and we're going to see him now to get a blessing. So I said, okay. So we arrived at 9 o'clock in the morning. It takes about 7 hours in a Jeep. We arrived at 7 o'clock in the morning, and my girlfriend said to me, what do I say when I see him? I told my girlfriend, Millie, if he is who I think he is, it doesn't matter what you do externally, because he knows internally what you're feeling. So I said, you can just walk in, say hi, and walk out, whatever it is you want to do. So she walked in, and she came out, and she was crying. And she said, something like, what the hell is that? I said, I don't know. I said, that's why we're here. We're here to figure out what this could be. So I walked into the room, and he was sitting on the ground about the same as Tracy. He's really tiny, he's really small. He's just got this long black hair and his robes are wrapped around him. And I bent down, and he opened his eyes, and it was the most amazing thing I had ever seen. And I had been with different teachers in my life as well, but this was something completely different. I told my family, there were two stories. One was, imagine a keyhole that's this big, and there's two of them. And imagine looking to a universe that is the size of the ocean, the size of a universe. And you're trying to encompass this ocean that is infinite through two small holes, and you're trying to absorb it all. And that's what it was like. I looked through it, and there was nothing. There was no vibration on the water. It was perfectly still, and I started to cry, and
Now, since Guru has brought forth his injunctions against discrimination of human beings on account of caste, religion, gender, and color, he brings back exactly the age of truth, which far preceded the time of Gautama Buddha. I have no doubt whatsoever about his accomplishment. Anyone who manages to do something like this does so through grace from above, with support of the Creator. You know, there are two types of people. Some live for themselves, self-centered people, while others live for others, for the well-being of others. I think we are mostly living for ourselves, but Guru lives for others, for all living beings. Mahasambodhi Maitri Nath is truly humanity's greatest treasure who must be preserved and protected. Just as the onset of spring brings wonderful changes to earth, where nature, enchanted by winter, is transformed, so too today with the Guru's arrival on earth. Amazing changes and transformations are unfolding in the spiritual realm and human consciousness. Thus, the golden age of truth begins on earth. So today, the time has come for the world to rediscover the primordial wisdom and awaken. We are ready to take the leap and immerse our whole body, heart and soul into the golden future that has already begun.